It was damp and dreary on December 9, 2008, when federal agents entered Governor Rod Blagojevich's North Side home, arresting him for corruption and raiding his campaign office.
The conduct would make Lincoln roll over in his grave.
It marked the beginning of Blagojevich's long legal battle as he faced 24 corruption charges for exchanging political action for campaign contributions, charges he denied from day one. Federal prosecutors claimed otherwise, accusing Blagojevich of 5 schemes in which he hoped to make that trade. The biggest, trying to sell President-elect Barack Obama's vacant Senate seat, with some of the evidence found in wiretaps.
I mean, I've got this thing, and it's golden, and I'm just not giving it up for nothing.
Back in 2010 and 2011, former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich was convicted on numerous federal charges for his actions as they related to his attempt to sell former President Barack Obama's Senate seat to the highest bidder. Now, while he was embroiled in the trial for those crimes, the Illinois legislature kicked him out of office and said, "Don't come back. You're done here. You can never hold an office here in the state of Illinois again." So fast forward to the tenure of President Trump. President Trump commutes the sentence of Rod Blagojevich.
Will my hair get along with Trump's hair?
And the first thing Rod does when he gets out of prison is he runs into federal court in Illinois and files a complaint on his own behalf. He didn't get an attorney or anything. Files a complaint on his own behalf, suing the state of Illinois in an attempt to make it so that he can run for office again.
I gotta say, you have a lot of guts.
Judge Seeger, the judge that is handling that case or was handling that case, just dismissed the whole thing. And the way he dismissed it is just wonderful.
In a blistering opinion against Rod Blagojevich, the judge quotes Dr. Seuss, who wrote a book about a man whose welcome was long worn out. "Will you please go now" is in the title and is the gist of the judge's dismissal of Blagojevich's legal effort to run again for state office, despite having been impeached and imprisoned. But tonight, Judge Stephen Seeger has tossed out the lawsuit in a whimsical and entertaining opinion, not the kind usually handed down from between these walnut walls.
So Judge Seeger starts by saying, more than a decade ago, Governor Rod Blagojevich left the Dirksen Federal Building in disgrace. He was charged, tried, and convicted of more than 10 counts of corruption. He received a sentence of 14 years, and the Seventh Circuit largely affirmed. The evidence, much of it from Blagojevich's own mouth, is overwhelming. While the charges were pending, the Illinois General Assembly took decisive action to remove him from public office. Blagojevich inspired bipartisanship. The Illinois House of Representatives impeached him by a vote of 117-1, and the Illinois State Senate convicted and removed him from office by a vote of 59-0. At that point, Blagojevich's career came to a close. The music stopped, the curtain fell, and he exited stage left.
Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich has been arrested and charged in what the U.S. Attorney's Office is calling a corruption crime spree.
Governor Blagojevich has taken us to a truly new low.
He's back. Blagojevich didn't have a graceful exit from public life. It was disgraceful. And by the look of things, it wasn't even an exit, because Blagojevich, once back in the game and back on center stage, microphone in hand, Blagojevich served almost 8 years in prison before receiving a presidential commutation. After regaining his freedom, Blagojevich wants to regain the ability to represent the good people of Illinois. So he came back to the Dirksen Federal Building, hoping for a warmer reception and a new lease on political life. But the complaint is riddled with problems. If the problems are fish in a barrel, the complaint contains an entire school of them. It's a target-rich environment. The complaint is an issue-spotting wonderland. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you're in law school and you take a law school exam, the instructor gives you a whole set of facts. It's set up kind of like a case, a potential case that's brought to you, and you're either going to take the case on behalf of somebody, let's say, who breached a contract, or you're going to defend against the breach of contract action. But your job as the student taking this law school test is to spot all of the issues in the facts. So you have to say all of the issues with respect to how you could win if you were the attorney for the person who has brought the breach of contract action to you, and how you would defend against it if you were on the other side. You have to spot all the issues. Well, that's what Judge Seeger has done with this complaint. And he has listed myriad issues from federalism. Basically, you can't bring this in federal court because the state legislature is the one that said you can't hold office anymore. You weren't impeached in federal court. You were impeached by the state legislature. Federalism prevents me from turning on this. Separation of powers principles. Well, the legislature said you can't hold office anymore. Under the Constitution, the legislature is the one who is allowed to make that decision, and the judiciary can't make that decision, nor can they undo the legislature's decision once they've made it. Separation of powers prevents me from doing anything here. Not only that, but you brought these claims under statutes that do not apply to the state of Illinois. Only individuals can bring these causes of action against individuals. The state of Illinois is not a person. Under the statutes that you've brought this under, they can't be sued under these statutes. So why are you bringing this to me, Rod? Why are you bringing this to me? And the list of reasons that this is a problem go on and on. So when the judge says this is a target-rich environment, he is absolutely right. But he ends with this. All of these problems and perhaps more stand in the way of his claim. The simple reality is that federal courts have no role to play when it comes to state impeachment. The state legislature decided to remove Blagojevich from public life, and it is not the place of a federal court to bring him back. The case began with great fanfare. Surrounded by microphones and cameras with a gaggle of press in tow, Blagojevich announced to the world that he might want a sequel in public life. The book is closed, the last page already turned, and the final chapter of his public life is over. The case never should have been filed. Read, generally, Dr. Seuss. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? The time has come. The time has come. The time is now. Just go, go, go. I don't care how. You can go by foot. You can go by cow. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? The case started with a megaphone, but it ends with a whimper. Sometimes cases in the federal courthouse attract publicity, but the courthouse is no place for a publicity stunt. He wants back, but he's already gone. Case dismissed. Good for you, Judge Seeger.
Just go, go, go. I don't care how.